Welcome back, fourth graders. Hope you had a nice weekend. I hope you got a lot more sleep than I did. I kept rereading this postcard from Honey Rose. I hardly got any sleep at all. I was worried this whole weekend because she was taking a rocket ship to Mars on Saturday. According to Honey Rose, this mission to Mars was a secret mission. Even so, I sure hope I find out something today. I just want to know that she's okay. Maybe she'll send a quick text, or maybe she'll send some sort of communication so we know that she's all right. So while we wait to hear some news from Honey Rose, we're going to take a look again at the climate zones of the Southeast. This map talks about the climate zones of the entire United States, but you can see that the Southeast is almost all completely in one zone. In other words, the color goes along with this purple in the key, and it's called subtropical. It's a subtropical climate in the southeast part of our country, the southeast region. There is, though, if you look here on this map, a little tiny piece of the southeast region. It's that red section right there. According to the key, that would be considered a tropical climate zone. So it's even warmer and more humid. It's a tropical part of the United States. We have no other part of the United States that qualifies as a tropical climate zone, except for this little part of Florida. So let's read a little bit here. It says, climate maps are also helpful when planning a trip. Absolutely. Honey Rose took advantage of some warm climates, some beautiful beach time down there in Florida. This map shows the different climate zones in the United States. You could not see the tropical zone on the big world map, but can you spot it on this map? Yes, we did. We found that little tip of Florida that's actually tropical. Since the Southeast then is part of the subtropical or tropical climate zone, we know the tip of Florida being tropical and the rest of the Southeast is being subtropical. Because of being in that climate zone, they also have to worry about hurricanes, something that the Northeast also had to deal with a little bit, but not nearly as much as the Southeast, which makes sense too because of all this coastline. When we first started looking at the Southeast, we talked about how there was so much of their land that is surrounded by water. The Gulf of Mexico, a very warm body of water, coming around by the Caribbean Sea and then up by the Atlantic Ocean. All of this is very warm water, which then causes issues like hurricanes. So let's read a little bit about hurricanes. It says, all hurricanes begin as tropical storms. There's that word tropical again. They need warm water that is 79 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 20 degrees Celsius, or higher to form. As the water evaporates into the warm air, that's one of our science words. Look at that, comes back as we talk about hurricanes. As the water evaporates up into the warm air, the air begins rising. It cools and, there's that other word, condenses into large clouds. Air from the ocean rushes in to replace that rising air. It creates then wind, and Earth's rotation causes these winds to form a large swirl. Next, we'll read on about a hurricane that slammed into the southeast region back in 2005. Hurricane Katrina was one of the... Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, fourth graders. I think I got a text message. Just one second. Here's that text message that just came across from Honey Rose. Hi, online fourth graders. I'm sending this text message to say I'm okay. Thank goodness. We took off from Cape Canaveral in Florida and are just now heading to the Red Planet. I heard you are working on Southeast projects, so maybe space and the Kennedy Space Center is a topic you want to do for your project. I'm sending videos soon so you can see this cool spaceship I'm in. Good luck and see you again soon, Honey Rose. The Southeast region has seen plenty of hurricanes over the years. In fact, some of the most powerful and damaging hurricanes on Earth, on the entire planet, have happened in this region, in the southeast. The one we're going to focus on is Hurricane Katrina. This is one that happened back in 2005. Let's read a little bit. Hurricane Katrina first hit the United States on August 25th, 2005. The Category 1 storm made landfall in southern Florida. It brought winds greater than 70 miles per hour and several inches of rain before moving into the Gulf of Mexico. In the Gulf, the storm grew stronger, and by August 27th, Katrina was a massive Category 3 storm. It covered nearly all of the Gulf of Mexico, delivering winds that topped 170 miles per hour. The best way to understand Katrina and how it hit the southeast is just to watch the actual time lapse from a satellite out in space. This is the actual footage of the hurricane coming in. There's Florida, the tip of Florida. You see those clouds starting to swirl. You see that swirling action, and it was only a Category 1 storm when it went across Florida. But look at how much it's growing. Look at how much bigger it's getting. And as it went into the Gulf of Mexico, it started to gain strength. It got into some warmer water, and the swirl became stronger. The hurricane grew in strength. And as you watch this continue, this time lapse, you'll notice something start to develop. Right there in the center of a hurricane is a thing called an eye. The really strange thing about an eye of a hurricane is it's perfectly calm. Right there in the middle of this gigantic storm, everything is completely calm in the center. Just like outside of the hurricane, you'd have blue sky, you'd have calm waters, as if there was nothing wrong. It's the strangest thing to be in the eye of a hurricane. I can't even imagine it. And to look at the size of that hurricane's eye, you could have miles and miles and miles of clear blue sky and clear, calm waters. But just on the other side of it, as it continues to move, is massively destructive winds as it continues to churn and move across the water. So Hurricane Katrina did finally eventually make landfall here. It did finally hit up into Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama. Katrina brought heavy rains and a massive storm surge. The levees began to break, and on August 29th, about 20% of the city was flooded. By the next day, New Orleans was a disaster zone. Levees had continued to fail, and 80% of the city was underwater. People who had not evacuated were stranded in their homes or shelters in terrible conditions. If you see this picture here, this is actually New Orleans. It's underwater. 80% of the city was underwater at that point. That's a massive storm. Hurricane Katrina was devastating across all of the areas it hit. More than 1,800 people are thought to have died. Storm costs reached $161 billion. And that was back in 2017, so it'd be even more expensive today. The storm remains one of the deadliest and most expensive hurricanes in U.S. history. All right, fourth graders, looks like that video that Honey Rose sent finally came through.
VZ. Roger, Delta VZ is plus 00190. Roll.
Well, this makes me feel a lot better, fourth graders. Getting this video from Honey Rose puts my mind at ease that she is actually doing okay. I can tell by the footage that she's just barely taken off. I mean, you can see the planet Earth out through the window, and it looks like she's comfortably riding along with, I'm not sure who else is with her, but obviously some voices of Mission Control who is communicating with them. So good to see she's doing all right. Well, let's continue on about our lesson on hurricanes. while we wait for Honey Rose to send us some more messages. So maybe hurricanes is something that interests you, something that maybe you'd want to do for your Southeast project, because the Southeast has had plenty of hurricanes over the years. The one that we've been reading about, this Hurricane Katrina, certainly one of the most deadly of the hurricanes that have hit the Southeast. In fact, it's rated as the 4th most damaging and deadly hurricane in history. So keep this in mind. Maybe it's something that you want to do some research on. You can look it up in Epic and find some other books in other sources. And maybe it's not just Katrina, but other hurricanes in the Southeast that you want to look into, or maybe do a project just about hurricanes in general. Well, it's time now to move on to your assignment. In Canvas, you'll find some questions that go along with our readings today. And hopefully we find out tomorrow that Honey Rose has safely made it to the surface of Mars. As you know, she's been sending back a few messages to us, which is amazing at the speed at which we're receiving this information. I'm not probably going to sleep very well again tonight, I'm sure of that. But hopefully tomorrow we find out that everything went well and she has landed safely on the planet Mars.